But these loan level pricing adjustments are just factors that determine what your rate's going to be throughout your loan. It could be how much down payment you put down, what your credit score is, what your debt to income is. All of these factors are what they call loan level pricing adjustments, even as much as whether you're buying an investment property or a primary residence.
Here we are on the next episode of the Unbiased Truth podcast. I am joined today by Douglas. Douglas is
My mother calls me Douglas.
Doug is a lender with OVM Financial. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Doug. I am with OVM Financial. We're powered by Annie Mac. We merged companies last year, so if you see OVM Financial, it will say OVM with Annie Mac. Been doing this for a few years. First time on Sid's podcast, so I'm really happy to be here. I don't even know where to look or anything. I don't know anything.
Right here.
Right here.
Yes. Right here. Yes. So appreciate you coming on. We're recording this just a couple days before May 1st. This will, when it comes out, it'll be after May 1st. It'll be about
of next year.
Yeah, right. But I wanted you to come on because for anybody that's been paying attention, it's been gaining traction, the conversations about this new rule. And you know, the short of it is, I guess, if you have good credit scores, quote unquote, 680 or above, starting May 1st, then you are subjected to additional fees, monthly fees.
They say fees. It's really what they call LLPAs, loan level pricing adjustments. What that is just when you have a conventional loan, because these fees are added by Freddie and Fannie and not by Biden. A lot of people think it was by Biden, but it wasn't. It was by Freddie and Fannie. But these loan level pricing adjustments are just factors that determine what your rate's going to be throughout your loan. It could be how much down payment you put down, what your credit score is, what your debt to income is. All of these factors are what they call loan level pricing adjustments, even as much as whether you're buying an investment property or a primary residence. They're called loan level pricing adjustments, and they've added different loan level pricing adjustments now based on your credit score. And what they've done is if you have a higher credit score, you may pay a larger adjustment, rather than if you have a lower score, you'll pay less of an adjustment. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a worse rate, but you are getting analyzed differently and charged a different pricing adjustment based on your credit score. And they do say that it is showing that the higher your credit score, the more adjustment you're going to see.
So why is that? I mean, why? What's the purpose of all this? Because obviously the narrative is to subsidize those with lower credit scores.
Yeah, they're just trying to level out the playing field. I think they're trying to make themselves just more equal. As you know, FHA lowered their mortgage insurance premium, and in the current market, government rates are a lot better than conventional rates. And so with that happening, a lot of people are starting to go government. They're not doing as many conventional loans, and they're just trying to get the people that don't have the larger credit scores to maybe look at conventional a little bit more and not have such a pricing adjustment. Whereas if you have a 660 or a 680 and you go conventional, maybe you're not getting hit quite as hard versus people that have a 750 or above. Those are the people right now you see go do a lot of conventionals.
Right.
With the mortgage insurance being lowered by FHA, even at a 720, a lot of times conventional is not as beneficial for somebody like it was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Gotcha. So the other half or another part of this, from my understanding, is not just the added whatever, but it's also the more money you put down. Isn't there is it a fee at closing?
It's not a fee at closing. I just see another pricing adjustment. I think based on what we saw, and I've seen a lot of articles, but I'm not 100% clear on everything that they've done with this. But what I have seen is that the pricing adjustments are again larger, the higher your down payment. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a worse rate. It just means the cost for that rate is a little bit different. So that's what we're seeing. I think even people with a lower credit scores that try to go conventional or that have less down payment are actually seeing a little bit better scenario when they go conventional. Just the higher credit scores are a little bit different.
Gotcha. So what's your conversations like, if you've had any, or will they be, because you can call it whatever you want, right? But at the end of the day, people will call it what they want. And they're calling it as being punished for having high credit scores, being financially responsible. And now they got to pay extra because it's subsidizing lower credit scores. So
all right.
What's your conversations like around that narrative, that topic?
When I talk to clients and I always set the expectations, and it's easier. Our company has already built these adjustments into our pricing.
Sure.
Just so we can set better expectations with our clients. So they're conversations that people are starting to have more. They're asking about them. They don't affect governments like a lot of people assume they do. And fortunately, most of what our company is doing right now is government, just because financially it's just a better loan product for most people. But we've already built this into our pricing, so it's easier to set better expectations. But when people do ask about them, we just explain it similar to what we're doing now. It's just, these are what the fees are, but they've already been built in. So the numbers that I'm quoting you already have this stuff built in.
Gotcha.
And if, we kind of analyze it from there.
And this is only for government-backed loans?
No. So these are for Freddie and Fannie.
Okay.
Government, FHA, USDA, VAs. Mm-hmm. Those are not affected. It's the Freddie and Fannie backing these conventional loans.
Okay. So conventional loans backed by
Freddie and Fannie.
Okay. All right. All that stuff confuses me. That's why I stick to crawl spaces. So
since I don't stick to crawl spaces, I might as well get this.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. All right. So what's the response for when here we are in a very interesting market once again. And of course, all the talk that hasn't gone away for the last 3 years of bubbles and bursting and 2008 all over again. Mm-hmm. And now there's some conversations that this is loosening, quote unquote, regulations that we're giving loans to people who aren't possibly, make those payments. So
right, and I think it's, with people. From what our experience is, you have to, when you do a conventional loan versus FHA, VA, USDA, you have to run it through an underwriting system. Lenders have these underwriting systems that go through it. And a lot of times, even though they have these pricing adjustments, they still may not be able to get approved with a 660 running conventional unless they have that higher down payment.
Right.
So it just because these pricing adjustments are helping people with lower credit doesn't necessarily mean they're still going to get that particular loan.
Right.
It's still financially at a 660 credit score is not worth going conventional anyway.
Gotcha.
So that's the way we analyze it. But again, everybody's situation's different, but we've already built it in, so it helps out a lot.
All right. Well, you're right, about 10 minutes, so I guess we're done.
I really, yeah. She's over there eating. I don't.
No, I mean,
well, I was told we get to talk to you after everything was over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, her mic's probably not even plugged in because she probably forgot how to do that. Here she goes.
It's plugged in. I just had to unmute it. I didn't want the ASMR of me eating my biscuits and gravy.
It's been sitting in her dashboard all day.
No.
That's how we keep it warm these days.
For information, it is. I got it an hour ago.
Okay.
An hour ago. So you got biscuits and gravy at 12 o'clock.
Well, I got it at 11:40.
Just be thankful she didn't order off the kids menu. Because that happens. That happens.
Do that a lot?
Yeah, she does.
How do they let you do that a lot?
They don't want to argue with her.
Look at me. You want to argue with this? I'm 12.
I usually argue with everybody.
Yeah. It's like arguing with my 8-year-old. I mean, you just get tired of it.
Exactly. I'm 12.
She wins.
She wins. Yeah.
She wins.
But no, I mean, the last couple of weeks, all these real estate mastermind groups and just in general, of course, the news cycle, it's, somebody posts it. And then it starts the 200-person response thread of going down the rabbit holes, and it's the doom and gloom and whatnot. Now, obviously, you feel a certain way about it, like I said, it does, for lack of better words, feels like a punishment for those that were financially responsible and got better credit scores and saved up money for a down payment. And now you got to pay more just because of that, and because we're equal, leveling the playing field and all based off individual decisions to a degree.
But those higher credit scores are still getting a better deal and a better rate than the people with lower credit scores.
Yeah.
Maybe people could view it as not as good of a deal, but they are still getting better rates and they are still getting a better payment and still getting a better deal than if you were trying to do a conventional loan at 660 or 680.
Do you think that's going to drive more people to drop conventional and move to, a VA or
Absolutely.
FHA? Yeah,
absolutely. I think if you can, unless you're putting 20% down and not factoring in mortgage insurance, I think more people are going to look at FHA as a possibility for their loan rather than conventional, just because, like I said, government rates are better. You have cheaper mortgage insurance sometimes than if you were at conventional with FHA now. So I think it is going to have a lot more people go government than conventional. And that's what we're starting to actually see already.
Yeah.
Just anticipating on May 1st when these things actually kick in, we are seeing that a lot of more people are going FHA than conventional.
Yeah. So shifting gears a little bit, what are you seeing with the market when you're in?
So that's actually really interesting because the market's it's been pretty flat, not any crazy changes here recently. The projections are still towards the end of the year. The rates are going to drop quite a bit. Not as low as they were before. Maybe down into the 4s, which would be really nice for people. But what they also are projecting is when those rates drop and a lot of the people that don't qualify for very much or can't find anything in their price range, when those rates drop, they'll qualify for more. And that's just going to increase the amount of buyers. But we're not going to see a huge increase in inventory.
No.
So you're going to start getting back into not quite as bad as we were before, but I think we are going to start getting into people paying a little bit more over asking, maybe even starting to see a little bit of appraisal gaps, things like that. No seller credit. I think we're going to get back into that, and houses are going to come off the market a lot quicker. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be like we were a year and a half, 2 years ago, but I do think we're going to see a decent change.
Because we still have pockets in Richmond that never went away from that. Not many, but there were still some pockets, and I know someone posted earlier today that they had a listing. They had 55 offers on this one. I mean, it's one listing, but we are seeing a lot more. Definitely seeing the waiving, but we're also seeing more inventory year over year. Not crazy, right? It's still like 0.9 or whatever, 1 month's worth of inventory, but that's still up compared to this time last year.
It is,
and whatnot. But yeah, I think as we roll, she's got something to say.
Yeah, the walkthroughs have become. We've been getting a lot more of those recently now too.
Yeah, those came back with a vengeance. Those pre-offer walkthroughs, walk and talks, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, we've got a couple people who did the home inspections for information only.
Yeah, I'd much rather do those. We can go down that rabbit hole, but my feelings on all of that. But yeah, we last Thursday, we just got all day. It was just phone calls for walkthroughs on Fridays and Saturdays, and on our end, they're super easy, but the other side of that is nobody knows what a home inspection is. They don't know what a walkthrough is either, So even though I think we do a good job of explaining what all that stuff is, hey, I'm here for 30 minutes. 30. All right. So we just need to temper expectations. And You can buy this house and still find bad things.
Are you just doing a walkthrough and just looking at the obvious stuff, like
Pretty
stuff that's
much.
right? You're not crawling up underneath the house?
Not really. So we can check the outside. Again, this is quick. We're not doing a report. We're just taking a couple photos to show the client. Because all of our inspectors are licensed for drones, we can do the roof because we don't need to put ladders and stuff on there because you can't for these. These are walkthroughs. These are showings. Sellers are not going to be happy if you're walking on their roof at a showing. But we can still put a drone up and get a pretty good idea of what the roof is, and then we'll look at the panel. We don't take the cover off because bad things can happen. If you do that, you can trip all the breakers and whatnot. It may or may not have happened once or twice. But there are some types of panels and, at least sizes and stuff like that. We give them, and then we'll check the age for the water heater and the heating and cooling systems. Look into foundation, at least on the exterior, depending on the size of the crawl space and what we see, and time. We may go into the crawl space. It may just be in, as far as our body can allow us, like I'm 6 foot, so maybe I'll stretch in there and try to look as much as I can,
But don't whip out the robot and everything.
No. I mean, I did one Sunday and I ended up going all the way in. I did a quick lap, but that's because I couldn't get to it. It was underneath the deck. But once I got in, it was pretty good height. Like, I mean, I could hands and knees crawl all the way around it. I could set up and check it. And it was a really old fixer-upper. So they really needed that info, Gotcha. But if it was like lower and like dirt, like, nah, I ain't doing that. We're limited on that. But I mean, we're not running the water. We're not checking the heating and cooling, we're just in and out. So, always encourage them, like, hey, if nothing else, don't waive your termite inspection. Like, if you're going to waive this, don't waive your termite, because at least the termite guy can still go in the crawl space.
Right.
If you use somebody that we partner with, then they're going to be able to at least tell you some things because they know some things, like, hey, look, yeah, I didn't see any termites, but, your main beam is, rotted through. You may want to consider that. So, right. Again, not a home inspection, but when this started coming about, of course, Depor made their presence known last August before that. It was August before that, I guess. I guess we've been doing it that long. Yeah. It had to be the August before last because last August the market was shifting. So, but Depor came out and said, we are allowed to do that. Thank you. We're allowed to consult in our business, just like every other trade is allowed to consult, but we're not allowed to write a report and we're not allowed to call it an inspection because as soon as we put it in a report or we call it an inspection, now it has to meet our standards of practice for a home inspection. And there's no way you can meet a home inspection standard in 30 minutes. 45 minutes. You just can't. So, because there's minimum things we have to check and have to do. So that opens us up to potential if we get reported Depor and they see that we did a report. Now it's a home inspection. We only did it in 30 minutes. We're going to get fined out the ass, right? Wow. Because they're going to see everything that we did not meet and we'll get fined for those levels.
It would be her fault.
It would be because she's the one that does the scheduling. So
should have done better.
So, so those have come back quite a, I think we did more in the last 2 weeks than we did the entire time before the market shifted. This last time was crazy. So, which is weird because again, inventory is still slightly up compared to that time period. But I mean, I don't know, I guess maybe because there's less buyers, and they're all competing for the same houses. I mean, I don't know. So it's been fun.
That's good. Yeah, we're seeing before that market shift, we, when the rates were low and you had so many buyers, nobody was getting seller credit. You had appraisal gaps. You had people paying way over list. And And then when that change started to happen, we were seeing seller credit was very popular.
Yeah.
They were getting at least some form. Some were getting all closing costs, and most were getting at least some.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to see the amount of closing costs, the seller credits going down. Some people just aren't offering it.
Yeah.
So we are seeing it start to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do expect at the end of the year, it's going to be a lot different than it is now.
Yeah, I think so. We still haven't. I mean, minus those walkthroughs, majority of our inspections are still actual inspections, which was nice. I mean, well, I say nice. It didn't matter to us. Once we went to the shifting market, we just got told, hey, instead of as is, we get to ask for stuff. So, but that was short lived. It seems to be short lived. But yeah, so like I said, most of what we're doing is still just standard inspections, but they're the as is and informational purposes only starting to creep back in with the walkthroughs. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I mean, always get an inspection. As I tell everybody, we got a Facebook page as to why you should never waive your inspection. But I was really hopeful that this time around there was enough bad stories from people that there'd be less,
right?
Waiving. People were less comfortable waiving. But I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Nope. Not with how many walkthroughs we've been getting.
No. Yeah.
So you got a CE class coming up.
Well, yeah, but by the time this airs, it'll be after the C. It'll be after
when
the
is
class.
Your CE class?
Next Thursday.
The next one will probably be happening when this one goes out.
Why wait so long?
Because we have.
Because I told you it takes her 6 months to edit one podcast.
It takes me a day to edit one podcast.
Now, are you saying that it could take you a day, and it doesn't take you a day?
Yeah, she's got to get out of bed.
Potentially, if she did it,
No,
it could take a day.
I don't even have to get out of bed.
In between her naps.
In between the naps, and the biscuits and gravy.
They were good, by the way.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Quote unquote.
Networking.
Yeah, networking.
Who was the realtor you met?
Yeah. If anybody's looking for a job.
Whoa!
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go. Anybody give an assistant to the assistant?
Yeah. I mean, at this point,
No.
I feel like, I could just stay at home. I probably get Jordan to answer the phones and schedule. And, I could just outsource, the podcasting.
What is she,
stuff to
8
somebody
now?
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to talk to an 8-year-old on the phone? Sometimes I'll get my 12-year-old daughter just to answer the phone. Like if I'm busy, answer the phone for me.
Yeah.
She loves it, and people love talking to her. So
yeah, I couldn't do that for Colin. He's 13. He just answer. He wouldn't say anything. He'd just be silent.
That's about the way that's the way Robin's calling is.
Yeah.
No, people love me on the phone. By the way, I got a review the other day.
She did.
Did he get the name wrong?
No.
I mean, she called me like 5-6 different times to reschedule one inspection. So we rescheduled that inspection like 4 or 5 times, and she called me to like be there for her to pay. Just be there. I get a lot
the
of
buddy
those.
system.
I get a lot of people that call, and I just sit there on the phone with them while they figure out how to pay.
Is your system complicated?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Not at all.
You just click a link. Pay.
Click a link. Venmo, Cash App. We do both of those too.
High speed, low drag over
Maybe
here.
they just liked your phone voice.
Thank you.
So we're going to do 360
Not
only.
that one, but
360 OnlyFans is going to be starting up.
yes.
You could be at the founder introductory price of $9.99 a month.
Make sure you get your calendar, because I hear Gordon wants to be on your June. He can be your December guy.
Gordon is going to be in our OnlyFans subscription.
Dress him up like Santa Claus for December.
Yes,
There you go.
Yes.
Got the suspenders, no shirt on. Just the hat. And
He is not going to be happy about this at all. He's going to be so mad at you too.
You too. What
Well, I
You
didn't,
contributed. You brought up his name.
I didn't do that.
But it's because we like it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Where are you seeing applications at? Are they up, down?
They're up. A lot of people are coming to us that want loans, that wants to buy houses, and it's great because that helps the housing market. So applications are up. We do see a lot of people. I'm seeing a fair amount of people that are needing credit or just cash. I have people that have great credit and just need some cash. They need to save a little bit of money. We do a lot of Virginia housing loans for first-time home buyers because we do participate in that. So we do a ton for them. But I think overall, we have seen a lot more people that are out there trying to buy. They have kind of accepted the way the rates are. They're not going to get back out in the twos. A lot of people wanted to hold off to see if the rates ever went down there, and they're just not going to get to that point.
And that's what I said. We needed distance and space on twos and threes.
They needed time. People just needed
once
time. Once
people realize that this is normal, right? We'll start seeing some more activity, and that's I think kind of
and that's where we're at now.
Yeah, because inflation, it's going down, but it kind of is what it is. And long term projections and all this stuff. The Fed and inflation and everything. People just kind of you know what we just can't. If you have to buy or sell, you just can't wait. Because you could be waiting for 5, 6, 7 years to get. And it's still not going to be 2%, 2.25% again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just needed time and to make this, I say normalize it, but it's normalize it again, because that's all it is. We probably needed a little bit more time. People may not agree with this because, a lot of people were panicking as far as agents go. But we probably need a little bit more time for an actual shift to get inventory up more. Right. Because now we're at 6% and we're going to be in the same boat that we've been in with no inventory.
Oh, for sure.
We're still not going to be in a balance. It's still going to be a seller's market at 6%,
and
6.5%, whatever it is.
And a 6% is pretty standard with a government loan. Like conventional's higher. Like I've seen people be in the high 6s, maybe even 7%, with conventional rates, which is another reason why people are not going that direction. Which you can save if you pay a little bit more in mortgage insurance, you could save even more in the rate. Yeah. And it just makes FHA or any government loan a lot more financial beneficial than conventional.
Sure. I know you wouldn't see it because it doesn't come across your desk, but are you hearing that there's still as many cash buyers out there?
Like you said, it doesn't come across, but we work with a lot of realtors that obviously list houses. And I haven't heard a lot of talk about cash buyers. I haven't heard a lot of talk about, we got this offer accepted, it was a cash buyer. Again, it doesn't come across my desk, but I haven't heard a lot of talk about it. Yeah. So I think I have heard some talk. Like I've had people come in and accept offers that are cash, and they're still doing that now, but you don't generally see that as much anymore that I have seen.
I think with the a lot of companies, at least in Richmond, I think the issue was people were moving from Northern Virginia. They're selling their $2 million townhouse in Loudoun, and buying the same exact thing down here for $350,000, and so they just pay cash for it. But I think with so many companies starting to reverse their decisions on remote work, that I think that's
it's a big deal.
And it's interesting because I think it was unintended consequences when they started doing that, and they started seeing production go down. The collaboration went down, but the economy went down in those areas because the economy in like the cities, especially the business centers of the cities, where all these big office buildings are. All of a sudden, nobody was going out to lunch anymore because there's nobody in the offices, and that became a drive from the leadership of the cities and mayors, councils, senators, all those people like, we gotta get people back to work, gotta get back in the building, and it's because the hot dog king isn't selling hot dogs no more because everybody's at home, eating out of their fridge and not going out to lunch anymore.
Right.
So that's probably the biggest driver of that because money drives all things.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how people can work from home. I'm not. I feel like I'm not nearly as productive. I don't get nearly as much done if if I'm at the house. There's
Yeah.
too much distraction.
Yeah.
So being outside the house helps me to get more done.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you came in every day, you might have the videos edited.
See, I'm glad that you weren't close enough to the mic for that to even pick up. So,
Well, do you want me to say it again?
no, I'm all good. All good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yo, I'm right here.
I was told when we didn't have anything else to talk about, we could just give you a hard time.
Yeah, they give me a real hard time.
I'm only doing what
You
I
want
was
to know
told.
what? I called up Sid the other day and I was like, yeah, I went and visited some offices. I've been doing a real good job of doing that, going around in Williamsburg because we've been trying to
No,
hit
you
up.
know what she does? Like, it'll be like 3 weeks, right? And I'll just text her like, "Hey, visiting the offices lately? Oh, I plan on doing that today."
No.
What a coincidence, you know?
No,
you're going to
the
do it the
past-
same
You
day I
can
asked
sit
you.
there and say that you don't have to leave your bed to edit.
The past 2 weeks, I have been constantly going down there and I have visited 2 or 3 a day from like there. So I did 2 last Friday and then I did 1 Monday and then I did 2 whatever day I called you.
Whatever day that was.
I don't know.
So what do
think
you
it was
do when you go
yesterday.
into the realtor offices? What do you do?
So I have a little goodie bag, like a little basket that has candy in it, and then it has some brochures, and then I've put in flyers for our CE classes as well, so that we can get more into those offices. Business cards are in there. I got some pins in there as well. Any of the little gizmos that I have, I throw in there. I walk up in there, and I'm like, hi.
Doug said he'll sponsor the baskets from now on.
Heck yeah.
So big old OVM baskets walking in there.
There you go.
We got all kinds of swag.
Yeah.
You just don't set them all up at the Realtor Fest
No.
and then walk away from the booth.
That was
before
not us.
it even opened.
That was not us. Just want you to know, our realtor fest that we were at was successful. We had a
Was
wonderful
that the
happy
booth
hour.
beside us?
It was.
Oh my! I was watching
They
people.
put all
Well,
those
I can't say that.
Yetis out there.
If they'd have put all the Yetis on the table, I'd have taken them too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I was tempted to. Because we were right beside it, so I saw other people grabbing it, and I was this close to going over there and grabbing it. But I was like, you
We
know
got
what? I'm
one.
gonna be a good
It gets a
person.
lot
Disgusting.
It gets a lot of use out of it at the house. But yeah, they were gone.
Was it like a big thermos one?
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah,
these?
it was.
No, it was the thermos ones, the
Yeah.
nice ones. That's like, you know,
They're like the most expensive
I'm
ones.
pretty
Yes,
sure.
they are.
I'm pretty sure
Yes,
those
they-
ones were there too as well.
probably. but-
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, the thermos
These are the
ones were
most
nice.
popular ones, I think.
They had
I think
everybody.
these are the most
You
popular.
had one like lady setting it up the night before, and then just nobody there for like the morning part of
Yeah,
it.
like the
Literally
first
set
2 or 3
all the
hours, they
Yetis
were just
out.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I'm
of
surprised they made it that long.
They made it
God.
quite a while, and I was shocked at how long they lasted. Not gonna lie, I was
I'd
sitting
say
there
I'm sure.
eating
Everybody
the
was
candy.
thinking it was a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, they were, where are the cameras? Where are the cameras?
Yeah.
No, our realtor fest that we held was hugely successful. We had a lot of realtors come to our table, and then we had a happy hour in our new office that we opened in Newport News. We actually have an office on Monument here in Richmond, but we opened a new office in Newport News.
Why didn't you invite me?
He invited me.
What the heck?
I told him there was people there, so I didn't want to go.
I could have gone.
Yeah, she
We
drives
offered.
down.
Like, don't say I didn't offer. I offered.
Well,
Not to me.
She drives down to like PBR in Hampton from.
No, whoa. I don't even go to the Hampton one. I go to the Norfolk one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go across the water.
Yeah.
I go across
From
the water.
New Kent.
From New Kent.
Why?
It's an hour and 10 minutes away from my house.
I debate on most days if I want to
It's
go to like
good.
Third Base Grill. You know, like that's pretty far from here. You know, and I'm like 5 minutes.
No.
Like, I don't know if I want to do that or not.
I mean, I don't think that like the Williamsburg area. I mean, Williamsburg area has like the William and Mary bars. You have like the little bar center with like the College Deli, Paul's, that whole area. But it sucks. It sucks.
wow.
Tell us how you really feel.
I don't like.
Hope there's no Williamsburg people
know,
on this
right?
Hope there's
podcast.
no
I mean, like-
real estate offices down there.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a
Good
fan
thing
of
you
it
didn't visit any.
because I'm not a William and Mary student, so I don't know anybody there. And with those bars, you do a lap around all of them, just saying hi to the people that you know, and then you're done for the night. That's it.
So what's the problem? If you don't know anybody, you don't have to do a lap.
Exactly. Why would I go then?
Just to drink without being bothered.
No, because
win-win for me.
It's not that. It would be different if you weren't like sardines in a can at those places. Like you're pushing each other just to like stand there, and like you can't move.
I don't like crowds.
In all of them,
much.
like you can't move. The only one that you can like really move in is what's the name of it? It's the one right beside Paul's, but that's where all the townies go. So it's all old people in that one. So that's the only one that actually has room to move around in.
For clarification, she thinks 40's old. So I don't know where we're at. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where PBR, you have a lot of the like, because it's right on the water.
Isn't there a PBR in Hampton?
There is. That one also sucks. I mean, it's okay. But I would rather.
I really think she's just never happy.
Well, now that we've gone through all the places that'll never allow us a place to sponsor or host anything.
Aren't you the people that just badmouth my restaurant? Yeah.
We're going to do an awkward transition.
Well, okay.
For the record, I love every one of those places.
I like Paul's because I work at Busch Gardens during the Hollow Scream season. So we'll go to Paul's after like working for the weekend. Like we'll go and hit up there, and that's fun because you have a group of people that you know there. If you just go there just to go there and you don't know anybody there, it's not enjoyable.
So when you say go there just to go there, are you going there by yourself?
Going there with like maybe one friend with you. So like my cousin is a William & Mary student, so we would go there. We've done this multiple times, and each time that we do it, we hate it. So my mom was like, do you know the definition of insanity? When I came back home from one night and was like, yeah, it sucked.
Most people go to bars like by themselves to meet more people.
Yeah.
Nobody just goes to a bar to drink by themselves.
No. Nobody does that. When you get to that level, never mind.
Go ahead. Finish that statement. Finish that statement.
Yeah.
If I, as a 21-year-old, got to the level where I went to the bar and sat down at the bar and just drank by myself, I would be scared for my mental health. In a nice way of saying it.
Maybe you go to the bar to drink by yourself because it's too loud at home with all your kids and spouses and animals.
Yeah, I don't have that issue. Oh my gosh, wait, I gotta show you guys a picture of my puppy.
Squirrel.
Look at him. Look at him.
He looks angry.
No, that's just his face. He's part chow.
That's what I say about Courtney too.
Yeah.
I don't look angry.
You look angry. That's just your face.
But yeah, PBR Norfolk.
So obviously you're trying to expand to Williamsburg
Mm-hmm.
in the most ineffective way possible.
What?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've been doing, we've done those like free, like the hot chocolate bar thing where we'll like call them up and be like, hey, like we have a free hot chocolate bar that we'll set up at your office. Just like, when can we do it? And I've called multiple, like almost all the ones that I've been visiting to do that. And and none of them wanted them. Like they were like, no, we're good. Or like, they just wouldn't. It was, I don't understand it.
I mean,
you have to be in Williamsburg for, I guess, because it's just hard. Like when I started, everybody said that Richmond was hard to get into, but Richmond was easy. Like, I mean, I just put an open for business sign and we just blew up. And, we're in the Long and Foster office down there in Williamsburg, and there's a couple other agents here and there that use us, but
like even them with the hot chocolate bar didn't even want. We didn't set up one there, did we?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
That was still more because I asked one of the agents, I said, hey, do y'all just not have people do this for y'all? She's like, not really. Like it's like a boring concept, so they just didn't really know what to do with it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's like if you're not in Williamsburg, it's really hard. They get established down there. Richmond was easy.
So where else are you trying to expand to? Or is just kind of Williamsburg the farthest out you want to go, or do you want to go to Newport News? Or
my initial goal was Newport News, and then Middle Peninsula. But in the last 6 months, I've probably kind of pulled back a little bit. just because of distance and travel. It's hard.
Leah's not that hard. She drives to Norfolk to drink.
Well,
Hour and
to
10
drink.
minutes.
So, if we got enough business down there to where we can double up inspections on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something like that, then that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to Williamsburg in the morning and you got to be in, Chester in the afternoon, that's a lot of driving, a lot of windshield time. But so Williamsburg, and don't get me wrong, I mean, the agents that we use or that use us, we go to Newport News and Hampton for them quite a bit. They're not just in Williamsburg, but there's offices in Williamsburg. The tunnel's kind of.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, we have gone across it, depending on the agent. That relationship is there. We will, and that's probably just another roadblock too, because a lot of those agents do cross the tunnel and whatnot.
Right.
Tunnel's just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing all that construction on it, and there's.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Ugh.
Remember before we started, she's like, I don't like talking.
Yeah.
I don't.
She unmuted it, and that's all it took.
Well,
She unmuted that microphone before it's like opening the Hoover Dam. It's like, here come the words, right on out. There we go.
I've finished. I'm not hangry anymore. I've finished my.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it is. I
She's
keep
always
quiet. I keep quiet when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But now
Keep
that
quiet when you're hungry because you're eating. You ate your biscuits and gravy. You didn't talk while you ate your biscuits.
Yeah. That's what happens when you shove your face full of sausages.
Exactly. You don't talk.
Yeah.
And she didn't even cut the sausage. She literally stuck it in.
This is a preview.
No. Whoa. I cut it. I was over here cutting them.
This is a preview of the OnlyFans channel. Just,
Oh,
first
God.
look right here.
Right.
First look.
Just take a video of her eating biscuits and gravy. There you go.
Oh, God.
So, anyways, but yeah, that's kind of the plan.
That's good.
Really, because she's been focusing more on that area, Williamsburg area, visiting those offices and whatnot. But it's also, the other side of that is, and might sound bad. I don't mean for it to sound bad, but Williamsburg has not a lot. There's certain brokerages in Williamsburg that's older, right? And we don't get a lot of older agents. And it's not just us. Any newer inspector in the last 10 years typically don't get older agents because they like the inspector that's been doing it for 20 years.
They like their guy.
They like how they did it 20 years ago, and they don't like...
They like comfortable.
Well, they don't like the new reports. They don't like how long they are. They don't like all the defects that newer inspectors are writing up. They just want to know, does the house fall down or is it not falling down? Because they don't want to do all the negotiations. And I don't blame them, because when they started, 20, 30 years ago, that's how it was. It was press hard, 3 copies. Here's your copy, no pictures,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. And now it's, hey, your report's going to be 40, 50 pages.
Times have changed.
What are you talking about? I literally had an agent, and he was like, I've never seen a report this long. I'm like, you have. You just maybe just chose not to open it, but you have. But so yeah, there's a generational thing there too. Not saying we don't have older agents, we do, but there is I know if there's based off talking to an agent, I know if they're gonna call again. That's my guy just retired and I'm looking for a new inspector and this is what he did. Okay, well, we'll get through this one. I mean, each their own, but. Yeah. But, Williamsburg is full of that. Just this is how we've always done it. This is what we prefer. We don't like the new way of doing it. And,
right.
So, but that's every business, though.
It is.
Every business, you got to understand who your target is, who your target audience is, who you're trying to reach. And we know that. We have ours, And like I said, it's not just us. It's any inspection companies that's popped up in the last 10, 15 years.
That's good.
That's kind of in that same boat.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it kind of goes with it. So.
Anything else we want to talk about?
Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we've talked about
I think we've
the
talked
new
about
rule.
a lot.
We've talked about applications and the market. We've talked about Cracker Barrel. We've not we, but Courtney badmouth a bunch of bars.
Every place in
Okay,
Williamsburg.
Yeah,
I love
East of
Williamsburg.
New
Like, I want to go like live there. That's like
from,
my goal.
But you don't want to eat there.
New
No, I
Kent
love
to the
eating
tunnel,
there.
she
I just
basically
don't want to
said,
go to bars
don't
there.
Go to a bar there.
Yeah,
you
don't
know?
go to
You
any
have
bar between
all
New
the way
Kent
to
and Tunnel.
Norfolk, which I find that's even.
She only mentioned one bar in Norfolk.
I know.
That's where we go to.
Yeah.
We, aka me and my cousin.
She don't know.
It would be
And who's
different.
driving? You or your cousin?
So, here we go. Here we go. We have it set up to where my cousin will pregame and I drive down. And then she doesn't really drink at the bar, and then I drink at the bar and she drives back. Cuz we get to the bar at like 10ish and then we don't leave until 3. So
She wouldn't be able to make it all the way down there to the old days of Have a Nice Day Cafe.
Huh?
Yeah. Anyways, well, any last words? How do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can call me. My phone number is 434-962-0599. Or you can email me at dforen, DFORREN, at Annie, ANNIE -Mac.com. Love to hear from anybody that needs some help. Always happy to help. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we're always happy to help.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. Till next time.
Yep.